Ibrahima Konaté's Liverpool career should be over after diabolical Nottingham Forest display. Nobody watching Liverpool's Premier League fixture on Saturday will have been surprised at how the game's opening goal came about. Ibrahima Konaté has been at the scene of the crime far too often this season and added yet another monstrosity to the list at Anfield. The Frenchman initially did well to get back into position as Nottingham Forest counterattacked. What came next, however, was an inexplicably poor moment which completely swung the tide of the match. With Liverpool starting well and on top, Konaté somehow shanked the ball out of play for a corner kick under little pressure. The pass back to Alisson Becker was a simple one, as was an easy ball out for a throw-in. Instead, Konaté took a heavy touch which ran out of play at the Anfield Road end. You just knew Forest would score, and they did. Once again, Liverpool's number 5 let one mistake lead to more and more. It should be the end of his career with the Reds. Nobody watching Liverpool's Premier League fixture on Saturday will have been surprised at how the game's opening goal came about. Ibrahima Konaté has been at the scene of the crime far too often this season and added yet another monstrosity to the list at Anfield. The Frenchman initially did well to get back into position as Nottingham Forest counterattacked. Join our newsletter for news and smart analysis. What came next, however, was an inexplicably poor moment which completely swung the tide of the match. With Liverpool starting well and on top, Konaté somehow shanked the ball out of play for a corner kick under little pressure. The pass back to Alisson Becker was a simple one, as was an easy ball out for a throw-in. Instead, Konaté took a heavy touch which ran out of play at the Anfield Road end. You just knew Forest would score, and they did. Once again, Liverpool's number 5 let one mistake lead to more and more. It should be the end of his career with the Reds. Liverpool should exit contract talks with Ibrahima Konaté. As Rousing the Cop exclusively revealed earlier in the week, Liverpool continued in contract talks with Konaté during the November international break. However, there is seemingly no agreement in place just yet, and with that ace up their sleeve, the Reds should now withdraw from those discussions. Konaté showed once again against Forest that he is absolutely not the answer at centre-back for Liverpool. Whether he is already checked out mentally or not, his performance simply have not been good enough. He has been costing Liverpool in the micro and macro game after game. Should Liverpool sack Arne Slot? In the current situation, Arne Slot unfortunately cannot afford to drop Konaté. Joe Gomez is the only other centre-back available, and the England international has looked off the pace this season as well. But make no mistake, while he will play many more matches for Liverpool this term, Konaté's career at Anfield is very much over. Liverpool should look to Murillo. Just as Konaté was turning in another shambolic display on Saturday, Forest centre-back Murillo was showing exactly what Liverpool are missing in defence. Not only did the Brazilian tuck home a brilliant effort in front of the Cop, he played brilliantly throughout. Liverpool have been linked with Murillo in the past, and it would not be a surprise if they come back in for him in the coming months. Indeed, with Konaté virtually certain to go, the Reds need to act in a big way. Murillo is the kind of addition who could bring security and stability back to the defense. In the meantime, Liverpool are simply going to have to manage. The mid-season arrival of Marc Guéhi could mitigate things somewhat, but it is clear that things will not improve massively until Konaté is out of the team. Unfortunately, that could still be way off yet. Arne Slot, I'm responsible for Liverpool's defeats, but there is a way out. Arne Slot made it clear in no uncertain terms that he is responsible for the current losses, as he addressed whether he can oversee Liverpool out of their slump. A culmination of selection decisions, individual errors, substitution choices, and a lack of confidence subjected Liverpool to their 8th defeat of the season on Saturday. It was a familiar story for the Reds in the 3-0 loss to Forest, with chances missed at one end and the opposition making the most of theirs at the other. The Malaise is asking questions of whether Slot is capable of being the man to lead Liverpool out of the slump, and that was put to the Dutchman after the latest very, very bad result. Slot takes responsibility for Liverpool results. When speaking to reporters, Slot made it clear that the poor results are his responsibility, but that he does see a way out of this. Slot said, "It's my responsibility. If we win or lose, it is my responsibility. But what I also see is that the team keep on trying until the end, and our fans stay until the end. Of course there is a way out, especially with the quality players we have." The Dutchman then insisted when asked if he has the confidence to turn Liverpool's form around. "I think no matter if you win or lose, if you make a lineup and substitutions, you also look back and think where you can do better." That's something else than doubting yourself. But I want to emphasize one more time on the fact that I'm responsible for the current losses. You are responsible when you're winning, but you're also responsible when you are losing, and that's why I prefer, although you ask me that question, not to talk about referee decisions or other excuses. I can never come up with enough excuses for us to perform, like we have, to have the results we have. That is far from good enough, and I'm responsible for that. Liverpool aren't scoring and conceding too easily. Liverpool cannot buck the trend of missing their chances and stopping the opposition from scoring, giving them a mountain to climb every match, and Slot has recognized the pattern. What I also see today, it wasn't at City, but in every other game we've played, we've been the dominant team and we were able to create chances, he explained. And like I said lately, it's almost constantly that we miss our chances and the ones go in that we concede. But that will never continue throughout the whole season. But we need to have that moment of energy of scoring a goal. If you are playing well and you go 1-0 up, then the other team feels like, we've played here half an hour now, we're 1-0 down and we hardly see the ball. But the opposite thing happened. They got a big energy boost from scoring. So I see a lot of things where, in a normal situation, the result would have been different. But we are now in a difficult situation, and then you need to do even more to get your results. Antoine Semenyo agreement reached as pundits on same page about potential Liverpool transfer. Liverpool has been tipped to make an 85 million transfer move for Antoine Semenyo, who has been in good form at the start of the new season for Bournemouth under Andoni Iraola. Antoine Semenyo celebrates after scoring for Bournemouth against Leeds United. Antoine Semenyo celebrates after scoring for Bournemouth against Leeds United. Amid transfer links with Bournemouth forward Antoine Semenyo, Liverpool has been told that the 25-year-old would be a perfect signing in 2026. Mohamed Salah has been struggling for form in the opening weeks of the new season, though he only has one fewer goal and the same number of assists in all competitions as Semenyo, and Liverpool will at some point reluctantly face up to the need to replace the Egyptian. Semenyo, who can play on both flanks, has been put forward as one option to do just that. It is thought that he has a release clause worth $85 million, $65 million, that will come into effect in the new year. I don't think there is anyone in the football world who doesn't want this guy, former Liverpool star Steve Nicol said on ESPN. I'll have him today and twice on Sunday. They need somebody. If it's Semenyo, then fantastic, because the guy is absolutely dynamite. If it's not him, then for Liverpool, it's going to have to be somebody else. If Liverpool want to win the title, then in the January window, they are going to have to make a move. Antoine Semenyo has been heavily linked with Liverpool and a host of other big clubs. I would be so delighted, ex-Chelsea centre-back Frank Leboeuf added. Every game I saw him playing, he has been absolutely tremendous and has had a great impact. The power he is showing and the finesse is amazing. His involvement to the team is huge. We have seen that at Bournemouth, and I'm sure we will see that at any club he's going to sign. He is strong, powerful, quick, and technical. That would be a huge signing. Antoine has been amazing this season, Bournemouth managing director Thiago Pinto told TalkSport last month. I think he's a lovely player, a lovely boy. For us, it was amazing to feel that he would be happy to stay one more season, even if other clubs were around him. I think he scored 8 or 9 goals this season, so we couldn't be more happy.